Hello, welcome back to another Collector versus Hoarder episodes. We are at the age now. It's a collector. You know, I know a lot of people love to go to conventions. Okay, that's I think the majority of people agree that they love going to convention, whether it was 30 years ago, 20 years ago, or last week. A lot of people that has been in this hobby for many decades still enjoy going to the conventions. Even if the conventions is more a pop cultures with pops toys and action figures and cosplays and just pure comics, a lot of people still enjoy all of that, okay? But for me, even when I was a young collector, when I went to my first convention in high school, during my high school years, I talked about this many times before, but in my very first convention I went to, it was held at like the Holiday Inn, a small hotel, ballroom, or convention hall. It was not very crowded. In fact, that's where I met Sean Byrne and got the signature. It was not crowded. There was more dealers standing around than people walking around looking at books from what I can remember. There was no hassle to look through any boxes. I didn't have to wait for someone to finish with a box to look through it. There was nobody there. But why is it that I did not enjoy that experience? For me, I can tell you, back in those days, I didn't enjoy going to the convention because I couldn't afford anything. I went to my first convention with $20 in my pocket. Okay? That was it. It was more annoying, sad, to walk around and look at things and can't afford to buy much of anything that I want. I didn't stick around for long. I bought one book, literally, and have John Byrne sign it, the X-Men 109. But, over the past many years after, especially when I graduated from college and got my job and moved to Boston and attended many conventions at a hotel in Boston. I think it was like every 3 months there was a conventions. It seemed like it's a lot. I went to probably half a dozen of that convention in the same hotel over the next 3 years that I was in Boston. I didn't go to every single one, but I'm pretty sure I went to 5 or 6 of them. And each time, it was pretty much the same. Unlike other people, a lot of people love to go to look at the wall, to look at the eye candies, and to oohs and ahs, and I'm not like that. I go with a specific goal in mind of what I want to buy, and that's it. I look through the box, I ask the dealer, do you have a copy of this? If you don't, I'm not going to waste time going through the boxes to see what else you have that I might be interested in. I'm very goal oriented, if that makes sense. I have a list of what I'm looking for and what I can afford, and that's it. I don't deviate from that list. That's how I was in those early days. Going to the convention. So to me, it was just another way, another methods to acquire back issues that my LCS did not have. That was it. It's not a social event. It's not some place I go to hang out with friends or to meet up with other collectors. I was in my own little bubble. Okay, so, and as the years gone by, my dislike for conventions surfaced more because I just don't like crowds. Never did like crowds. So it's not that I loved going to convention in my early days and now I hate it. Even in my early days as a collector, going to convention, I did not hang around for 3 hours. I go in there with a list of a few books, find them or did not find them or can't afford them, done, move on. Trust me, I wish I was different. I wish I was. I told this story many times, but back in those early days, I passed by many booths that had original arts for sales for cheap. Silver Age, Jack Kirby, Buscema, Romita, Gene Colan. Oh my God. Cheap. By cheap, I mean things are in the hundreds, not the thousands, in the hundreds, okay? Yeah. Heck, back then, I couldn't even afford to pay $50 for a back issue of X-Men. Stopping by a original art booth where it's $75 for a page is like, but that's me, okay? So I can tell you, convention was never a big deal for me, and now it's even less of an attraction because of the crowds and the hassle and the cost of attending a con. So if I ever go to one, if it's more to meet up with people I know, friends, but that's really is the only incentive. Okay, there is no other reason I would ever care to go to a convention. A big part of why I don't really care to go to a conventions these days, is that if you follow my channel over the past few years, you see that I am pretty good at finding good things to buy, to sell for profit, right? Without going to a convention. So I don't really need to exert the time and cost to go to convention to find deals. So it's so little incentive for me to muster the effort to drive somewhere, to stand in lines, to fight for the crowd, to dig through the boxes to find books to flip. I don't need to do that. I can do all of that at home with my fingers. Okay, so it's different for everybody. Okay, I understand some people enjoy the hunt. Let me make it very clear. I understand the joy some people get from hunting, digging at the convention. I understand that. I'm just saying I don't participate and I don't enjoy any of that. Even when I was a young boy, even back then, I didn't enjoy that part whatsoever. So it's not something that, developed over time. It's just not me. Okay, so enough of the story on the collector. Now let's go on to the hoarder. H. I would say that this is my most successful cure of a hoarder in my history of collecting. Okay, this book. Like many other books, I had multiple copies. The most I ever had was 4 copies of this book. Yeah, 4. And 2 years ago, I started to slap them. Okay, because I knew it's time for me to wind down. And unlike many other books that I have that have multiple copies, 4, 5, 6, 7, many of them I still have all of those copies. This one is the only one, a significant one, a key that I was able to shrink down from 4 to 1 because I slapped 3, sold them all. No regrets. And on top of that, I kept the lowest grade. If I could do that, if I can force myself to get rid of all my higher grade duplicates and cash out, I would. That's the goal long term, right? But yeah, this book is a lone success so far. of a major key that I was able to shrink down to just a keeper. This is about a 7.0. I had an 8, 8.5, and 9.2. Gone. So yeah, if I can replicate this for the rest of my collection, hallelujah. Yeah, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.